Howdy folks, welcome to the PNW Vibe YouTube channel. Last place we left off on this turbo Honda Civic build, we had the engine out, we had the engine teared down, and we had all the parts dropped off at the machine shop. Right now we have a lot of stuff that we can go through and do while the engine is out of the car. A lot of stuff that we can get taken care of and get knocked out. For example, this engine bay could really use a clean. I mean, you can see all that grime in there. Another thing we need to do is change this clutch master cylinder, or is that the slave cylinder? I'm not sure. We need to change whichever one the clutch pedal directly acts upon. And another thing that I want to do is I want to find a different intake. Is that little lame, crappy intake with the throttle body pointing straight up is going to make it really annoying to try to plumb a turbo, or to try to plumb intercooler piping up to. So I'm going to try to see if I can find an intake off of a Y8, a D16 Y8. That's a VTEC version. The intake manifold is a lot bigger, flows a lot better. The inlet will end up being right about here, which will be a lot easier to bring intercooler piping up to and just go straight in rather than having to go in and then bend that way and then bend down again, all while clearing the hood. It'll be easier to plumb up to and it'll flow a little bit better. So let's head on down to the junkyard and see what we can find. We are at our local pick and pull. One little pro tip for you. I'm just gonna go in there without any of the tools. I'm just gonna walk in there and scope it out and see if I find what I'm looking for, because sometimes you go in here and you don't find what you need. So there's no need lugging all those tools around for no reason. We'll go in there, scope it out. If we find what we need, we'll just walk back out, grab the tools, then we'll lug them back in. And here we have the other reason we leave our tools behind, folks, for our first pass, because check this out. There's a D16 Y8 right there, see? And someone already took the head. So our intake manifold is ready to just be pulled right out. Look at that, sweet. All I gotta do is clip a couple hoses. Hell yeah. We do need the plate right here, this little actuator off of the Y8 throttle body. And we need to transfer it over onto the Y7 throttle body and put the Y7 throttle body with the Y8 butterfly valve onto the Y8 intake. Alrighty, so there's a couple things that I want to get nice and cleaned up before I throw the engine back together, like the cylinder head, which I'm not going to be taking to the machine shop and getting resurfaced. I'm going to try to get by without decking that, and you know, if the head gasket blows because of it, well then we'll just replace the head gasket and we'll have the cylinder head surfaced at that time. But we'll try to get by without that and save a little bit of money there. However, we won't be hot dipping it at the machine shop. So I want to try and see if I can make my own at-home hot dip tank. So I've seen people use these burners with a trash can and they can just fit their cylinder heads inside the trash can and they put some kind of degreaser in there. What I came up with is this thing right here. I went down to Bass Pro Shop and got myself a turkey fryer, put that sucker together, and my cylinder head fits in there almost perfectly. As you can see, you know, there's plenty of room in there. It's just a little bit tall, so we'll have to run it one way and then flip it upside down, run it the other way. So this will be perfect. And then we also went down to Harbor Freight and got some of their heavy duty biodegradable degreaser. So we're gonna give that a shot. So we got the cylinder head here in our pot. And then I got my throttle body and my oil pickup tube dangling from a wire so I can pull them out a little easier if I need to. Like I said, I'll put about a third of this bottle in there, something like that. Got a bucket of water here. And we'll just top it off the rest of the way. So we got the cylinder head in there. We got our throttle body hanging with the sensor above the water level. And then we have our oil pickup tube hanging down in there too. So I'm gonna go get a lighter and we'll get this flame going. So check this out, I'm inspecting this head a little closer, and right here, I can clearly feel those. The metal is like etched out. I was reading that Harbor Freight label a little closer and it says specifically, don't use on aluminum, so I did actually fuck that head up. All right, guys, real quick, I wanted to jump in and show you the damage on this head a little closer. You saw in that clip that these cam journals, the aluminum got kind of etched out on them, and you could see that right there. It's not really a nice polished, smooth surface. I ended up having to go down to the junkyard and get a different head, which you'll see in just a second, but this one could actually be reused. The guy down at the machine shop that I took the other head to said that he would actually be able to polish out these cam journals and just put a new surface on that bottom, and that this head would be reusable. However, I figured I'd just keep this one as a spare, go down and grab a new one from the junkyard and just run a new one and not have to worry about these cam journals destroying a cam or anything like that. So the problem was this Harbor Freight heavy duty degreaser. This stuff is great for steel, but definitely don't use it on soft metals like aluminum, brass, copper. And it actually says that right on the label. I just didn't do a very good job of reading it. Do not use on soft metals such as aluminum, alloy, zinc, and copper. So that was my bad on just not reading the label there. What you actually want to use instead is this stuff right here. It's called Zep Heavy Duty Citrus Degreaser. And you can see on the back, it says clearly for use on appliances, grills, stovetops, tools, engines, fiberglass, aluminum, and stainless steel, enamel, wood, and So your Citrus Zep is going to be safe for aluminum. The orange stuff generally is, but just read your label and make sure that you're not using something that's going to ruin your head and cost you a little bit of money. But the at-home hot dip tank did work. You just want to use the Zep. Don't use that Harbor Freight stuff. So same procedure, pouring about 1/3 of a bottle of Zep in there, top the rest off with water, roll your flame, and just let that sucker soak for about an hour. When you pull it out, it should be nice and shiny clean. All right, let's go to the junkyard and spend some money to fix my mistake. Alrighty, folks, so I'm here at Pick and Pull to find a replacement head for that one that you guys saw me mess up with with my homemade hot dip tank using the wrong chemical for it. So don't do that. But what I found here is a real good looking Y7 with a good head on it. And then I found another Y7 right here that's also a candidate. We'll get this thing pulled off. I already got most of the way taken off with the valve cover, the timing belt, and the manifold right here. Someone already took the exhaust manifold. If this one turns out to be torched or something's majorly wrong with it, I'll just go ahead and grab this one from this Y7 sitting right here. So got a couple options, and I'm sure there's like 5 or 6 more of these strewn throughout the junkyard here. So I'm gonna keep pulling this one off. All that's really left to do right now is to pull these head bolts out. So that's what we'll do. And this sucker should be ready to come right off. All right, let's see what we got here. Not shit.
Engine looked okay, but the car was completely covered in fucking moss. It looked like I sat at the bottom of the lake. So
what's still holding you on? Oh boy, this sucker looks like it got hot. So this is what I'm talking about, you guys. Check out all this melted timing cover that's all stuck to the head. I think it's a pretty good indicator this thing probably overheated. But here, we hold on to this for just a second for me. Gotta chip out all this melted plastic.
you good?
Yep. Doesn't hurt yet.
It's too cold.
Damn, that fucking hurts. All right.
Ew. Only one finger was hurt in the making of this video.
Yeah.
Those valves look like new.
Yeah, they really do. Okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and use this head. This thing looks pretty darn good to me. Even though all that crap was melted to the outside of it, it's probably okay. Alrighty folks, that is gonna be it for this video. I know this has been the longest video I've ever made, so those of you who made it this far, made it to the end, you're awesome. Hey, if you liked this video and found any of the information in this helpful, don't forget to like and share this video, subscribe to the channel. Go back and check out some of the other videos on this Honda behind me. There's a bunch more on the channel. Go check them out. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.